Hi boys and girls, welcome back. I am so glad that you are here so we can learn some more math together. Now, we have been looking at three-digit numbers and comparing three-digit numbers. Turn to a neighbor and remember, use your math journal if you need to and talk about what we did on our last lesson together. Remember, we were comparing three-digit numbers. Turn and talk to a friend. Awesome job. I am sure you talked about that we need to start with the greatest value, and in a three-digit number that means we start with the hundreds, and then if they're the same we move to the tens, and then if they're the same we move to the ones. So I'm sure you included that in your conversation. Awesome job. Now today we're going to continue learning about three-digit numbers, and we're going to take it one step forward, because you are doing such a fabulous job. We are going to order three-digit numbers. No, not like you order fries at McDonald's. It's a little different, but you'll see. You'll see what we're going to do when we order numbers. And then we're also going to identify the greatest and the least number. So you have some vocabulary, and today our vocabulary that we're going to be focusing on is greatest and least. And turn and talk to a friend about what does a greatest number mean? What is a least number? Turn and talk for just a moment. Hopefully you talked about that a greatest number is the biggest number, or the number that has the greatest value, and the least number is the smallest number, or the number with the least value. So if you will look at our place value chart, turn your attention to that, you will see that we have three numbers on our chart that we are going to compare. Let's read our numbers together. Ready? 236, 153, 314. Good job. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to compare our numbers. Notice, I hope you notice they're in standard form. We're going to compare our numbers. So let's look in the hundreds. In the hundreds, in our first number, how many hundreds do we have in that number? 2 hundreds. Good. How many hundreds do we have in our second number? 100. How many hundreds do we have in our third number? 300. So which of our numbers is the greatest? Remember, the largest number. What do you think?
I think maybe the third number that starts with the 3.
And read that number for me, please.
314.
Awesome! 314 is the greatest number. Which number is the least number?
I think maybe it's the one that starts with the number 1.
The one in the hundreds place?
153.
Awesome job. That is the number that is our smallest number. So 153 is the least. Now, let's put our numbers in order from least to greatest. Remember, least is smallest, so we're still looking at our hundreds. We have a 200, a 100, and a 300. Which one's the least?
We decided it was the middle one, 153.
So if we're putting our numbers in order from least to greatest, would you please move that number to the top? So now at the top, because we're moving least to greatest, we have 153. Now let's see, I think we may have it. Let's read our numbers. 153, 236, 314. thumbs up if you agree those numbers are in order from least to greatest, smallest to biggest. Thumbs up. Good job. Y'all got it absolutely correct. Let's compare 3 more numbers. We're going to compare 254, 314, 267. Only this time, we're going to do it from greatest to least. We're going to compare our numbers biggest to smallest. Where are we going to start, boys and girls?
In the hundreds.
Awesome! So let's look at our hundreds. In our first number, how many hundreds do we have?
2.
And in our second number, how many hundreds?
3.
And in our third number, how many hundreds?
2.
Awesome. Now, I'm going greatest, so which number do you think has the greatest amount or the greatest value in the hundreds place?
Greatest means biggest. So I would say the 3.
Very good. So 314 is going to be our greatest number. So let's go ahead and move that to the top. Awesome job. Now we see that 314 is at the top. Now let's look at our other 2 numbers. We have 254 and we have 267. Oh my goodness, when we look at the hundreds, what do you notice?
They're the same.
Oh my goodness, they're the same. Turn to a neighbor and quickly tell them when they are the same. What do we do next? Turn to a neighbor and quickly tell them. I hope you said we move on to the tens. We move on to the tens. So now we're looking at how many tens do we have in our numbers? We have
5 tens in that number, and then 6 tens in the bottom number.
So is 5 tens greater or is 6 tens greater?
6 tens is definitely greater.
So let's move our numbers. Now we are going to double check because in math it is always a good idea. Really it's good in all our subjects, but we're going to check over our work. Remember, we had to put it in order from greatest to least. And so let's look at our numbers. First we have 314. Then we have 267. And then we have 254. That is awesome. Now, boys and girls, there's a couple of extra things I want us to do today because we've been looking at 3-digit numbers and y'all have been doing such a fabulous job. In your math journal, I want you to take a moment, and I know this was reviewed from a few lessons ago, but I want you to look at your numbers and I want you to write them. This is standard form, and I want you to write them in expanded form and word form. So take a few minutes and do that. Your teacher will go over that with you. And then teachers, after that, please give them some bonus problems where they are ordering numbers using their place value chart, and they are putting them in order from least to greatest and greatest to least. Y'all are doing awesome at comparing numbers.